Somebody say hello. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Foye, and I have the pleasure of starting this event for us this afternoon. We apologize for starting late. So I'm going to kindly ask us to stand up as we open this session with the second stanza of the national anthem. Today is the day that I will know whether we are loyal youth of Nigeria, because we are not going to be singing it. Or should we sing it so that we can cover the... Should we sing it or should we just recite it? We should sing it. All right. So the second stanza of the national anthem will be our prayer for today. 1, 2. O God of creation, direct our noble cause, guide our leaders right, help our youth the truth to know, in love and honesty to grow and live in just and true. Great lofty heights attain to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign. Long live Nigeria, and long live the Nigerian youth. Please, you may have your seat. We're going to just go around the room and do a quick round of introduction, and then afterwards we'll call Mr. Ola for the opening remark. So I'm going to start from my right hand of the room. So the first person would love to know you. Let's just go around quickly, your name, your organization, and then we move around the room. Just your name, your organization. Yes. Can we have a microphone for... Yes, we can go before, yes. From?
Daily Times.
Okay, he's from Daily Times. The next person.
Good afternoon all. My name is Benga Omohunu. I write for the Nation newspapers.
Thank you for coming. Yes.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ambassador Akin Akinlaya, and I'm the representative for Young African Leaders Initiative and also Young African Leaders Forum. So,
it's good to have you. The next person.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Momo Peter from SDG.
Thank you for coming.
Good morning. My name is Edet Zefion. I'm an independent person.
Thank you for coming.
Good afternoon. My name is Victor Okeke, and I work for the Center for Social Justice.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Ijoma from Yali Network.
It's good to have you. Yes.
Good afternoon. I'm Victor Matthias from Satyagraha Institute of Peace.
Okay, thank you for coming.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nafsat Mohammed from Salma Atta Foundation.
It's good to have you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Omotola Abidemi. I work with Friedrich Ebert Stiftung, Nigeria.
It's good to have you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sunday Ulubi, and I represent the Young African Leaders Initiative, Yali Network.
It's good to have you. Thank you for coming.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chamaka Jonathan, and I'm from Yali Network.
It's good to have you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vivian Egejiru from Yali Network.
It's good to have you.
My name is Suleiman Isiaka from JD Destination Services Limited.
It's good to have you here.
My name is Kashim Nazir. I'm from Future Foundation, FCT chapter.
It's good to have you. Oh, you missed a person beside you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Onden Etim. I'm from Yale Foundation.
It's good to have you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Valentine Medao from Yali Network and Open Leadership.
It's good to have you. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Zainab Akogun by name, reporter from Kaftan TV.
It's good to have you.
Anthony Ni from Concepts and Solutions.
You're welcome.
I'm Freddie Oloko. I work with Punch newspapers.
It's good to have you.
Sadiq Omolai, I write for the Guardian newspaper.
It's good to have you.
Yakub Ayuba, NTA News.
It's good to have you here.
Luminous Jana Mike, Vanguard newspaper.
It's good to have you. We have 3 persons here. Oh, you think you have escaped?
Actually, I thought. Hi, everyone. I'm Oluwaseun Kolaole from Peace Shapers Africa.
It's good to have you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Stephanie Nefivotu from Building Blocks for Peace Foundation. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon to everyone. I'm Rohama Ifiri from the Youth Evolve.
It's good to have you here. So let's come to the gentleman on white.
Good morning. My name is Nom Sunday from Clef Clothing.
It's good to have you.
Enoch Kilia from Clef Clothing.
Good to have you.
Richard Emmanuel from Clef Clothing.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon. Ishak Mighty from Clef Clothing.
It's good to have you.
I'm Mba Agatha.
From? Okay, it's good to have you, Aisha.
My name is Timloluwa Oyeni from Oyo State Youth Parliament.
It's good to have you.
My name is Clement Ike. I'm from Africa Community Technical.
You're welcome.
Anthony Emmanuel from Global Green Initiative.
You're welcome.
I'm Mohammed Lal from Exuberant Participants Youth Advancement Initiative. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
I'm Babatide Yusuf from Yali Network.
You're welcome.
Sadiq Fasasi, Yali Network.
It's good to have you.
Good afternoon. My name is Mary Odumogu from Yali Network.
It's good to have you here.
Good afternoon. My name is Bilkisu Aliu Kana from Yali Network, Abuja.
We can see your face.
My name is Bilkisu Aliu Kana from Yali Network, Abuja.
It's good to have you.
Good afternoon. I'm Emmanuel Lamba from the Patriot Campaign.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ogena Walter Ekubiri, and I am the founder of Motivating African Youth Initiative and the country president for World Women Leading Change Nigeria.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you. Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mary from Citizens Common.
You're welcome. So let's quickly go around the
Good afternoon,
room.
everybody. My name is Bright Young. I represent Impulse Nation.
It's good to have you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Damilola Kirimade. I represent Islam Education Initiative.
You're welcome, Damilola. The next person.
Andrew Odelade is the name, a representative of Young Professionals Forum.
You're welcome.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nsika Ekere from the West African Student Against Drugs, Nigeria. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Akwadi Christopher from Trinity House.
You're welcome.
Francis Okolego from AIT.
It's a pleasure to have you. Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Christabel Ome by name, ITH News.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Favor Keshi from Citizen Commons.
You're welcome. Yes, to the last side of the room.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sunday Timothy from I Lead Africa.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Boluwatife Adekoye. I'm from Yali Network, Abuja.
You're welcome.
My name is Samuel Peter from Nigerian Youth Parliament.
You're welcome.
My name is Mercy Emeka from Nigerian Youth Parliament.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Tabitha Ahmed Waziri from Nigerian Youth Parliament.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Gifts Olivia Samuel, the site news online.
You're welcome.
My name is Onyekachi Kingsley.
Can we hear him?
In the mic. All right. My name.
Yes, we.
Onyekachi Kingsley. I prefer to be called Oka from Greenland Investor Foundation. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ramatu Bello from Open Government Partnership, OGP Nigeria.
It's a pleasure to have you, Ma. Yes. The next person.
Gideon Isaiah from Yali, Abuja.
You're welcome.
Uriel Joseph from Yali, Abuja.
You're welcome.
Emmanuel John, I'm an independent filmmaker.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Honorable Jasper Standhope,
a member of Nigerian Youth Parliament representing Abia South Senatorial District, also Senior Special Advisor to the Governor of Abia State on Youth and Tourism. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Good afternoon. Abia Briggs is my name, the convener Campus Civic Summit Nigeria, and the campaign lead PVC Activism.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Kuchima Ono from Yali Network, Abuja.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Esther Okebu. I am the Program Officer for Center for Peace, Advocacy, and Sustainable Development.
You're welcome, Esther.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Yusuf Lead Abiodun. I work with iLead Africa.
You're welcome, Abiodun.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm James Tanga from Street to School. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Henry Ilo from Yali Network.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ezekiel Akpan from Yali Abuja chapter.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Unenu Abo, representing the ATM.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kabir Umar from Agri World Enterprise.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Aditola Padimusi. I write for the Nigerian Tribune newspapers.
It's a pleasure to have you.
My name is Lawrence Adeniji. I write for Spotless Communications. Thank you.
Thank you, Lawrence.
Good afternoon. My name is Solomon Ijauka. I represent iLead Africa. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ugo Uyana from Box 247 Media.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Michael Dibia is the name. I work with African News.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Felix Yagazie Silvanos.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Blessing Amajama, Youth Advocate for United Nations Nigeria. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Favor Chimobi, Anede, Yali Network.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Tom Itogo, Street Project Foundation.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mwakonobi Obina Melody from Street Project.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Zachary Emmanuel Mekalma from Street Project Foundation, the Advocacy Movement.
It's a pleasure to have you. So, do we have everybody in the room? Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ehireme Austin from Street Project Foundation, the Advocacy Movement.
It's a pleasure to have you. So let's give ourselves a round of applause. We want to thank every one of you for making out time out of your busy schedules to be with us this morning or this afternoon. As we kick off officially this program, I would like to invite Olalekan Osunkoya for his opening remarks. So Ola, you have the floor.
Okay, there you go. It's a very good afternoon to everyone. It's a pleasure to be hosting everyone this afternoon. Again, my name is Olalekan Osunkoya. I'm the Executive Director of Citizen Commons International. We're the host, and then we're glad to have everyone take some time out of their busy schedule to be part of this event today. And I think the year is coming to an end, and I don't think it's particularly a good time to have an event because people are getting ready to do the festivities. But thank you very much for still being here. Thank you for showing that Nigeria is important to you, and then you're important to Nigeria as well. Today is a beautiful day because it's the end of a journey and then the beginning of another one. How many of us know about NSAS? Almost every, how many of us participated in EndSARS? Raise of hand. A quick show of hands. Okay. Oh, am I disappointed? I didn't see a lot of hands up. Okay, online. Okay, good. That's good. So a lot of us were part of EndSARS, and EndSARS happened, and then there was something unusual about the idea that young people, for the first time, we came out in mass, and they wanted to show how important it is for us to hold government accountable. And then this was very good. And that's exactly the beginning of this journey that we are witnessing today. Today we have gathered here to have a conversation. Have a conversation about Nigeria. Have a conversation about the importance of young people in Nigeria. Have a conversation about how young people can better utilize our potentials, our skills, our energies to help. Who amongst us here believe that Nigeria needs help? We are an early nation. We are in serious need of help. So we're interested in having a conversation to see how we can help Nigeria grow, how we can help the country economically. And then to do that, we've really engaging today to activate and launch the maiden edition of the Nigerian Youth Voice Survey, and also to report the Youth Conversation for New Nigeria, which was a nationwide consultation that we have undergone in the last couple months. We have basically gone around the different countries to basically part of the country to ask young people, like most of us here are young people, so to say what is important to us as Nigerians, why, what do we want government to do better. We've engaged our peers, we have engaged colleagues in different places, and some of us here today were part of that process. We had our enablers, our moderators, who spent some time to take the journey to their own communities to help us get answers to some of the important questions, which is the question of what can we do to make Nigeria better? How can we support the effort of government, and how can we help government do its job by activating, by identifying, by suggesting, by improving their work for them. And then in doing so, we received a lot of answers, a lot of remarks, a lot of recommendations. A lot of people talked to us because we did spoke to a lot of people. And I think in talking, you realize that people have ideas. Even in our frustrations, even though in our disappointment, we still don't have any other place as home. We're still here. In as much as we are still here. I mean, I know some of us will leave. If we're told to not go home and just go to America now, I know a handful of people who will leave. If you don't need a passport, you don't need a visa, you don't have an opportunity to go and say goodbye to anyone. From here to the airport and straight to Atlanta or New York. Okay. So we don't have another place as home. So we wanted to make it happen. We wanted to support the country's growth no matter what's happening, no matter how difficult it is to survive in the country. So we've had that. So today we are sharing the outcome of that conversation, of that effort, of that consultation, and then we're not stopping there. We're also engaging. Everyone here we'll have a little bit of a time to do a mini version of what we have done in other places before now that led to the report that we are launching today. So thank you for being here. Unfortunately, we did have a lot of cancellations from our speakers. A lot of things are happening today, this week. People are mostly because of health reasons. So. But we are here, so we will engage, and then we will have a conversation, and then we will report the opportunity to gather, to discuss in our country, to discuss our role in it, and then to be the change we want to see, and then to make a better Nigeria possible once again. So enjoy your time. Don't be in a hurry to leave, except you have to. It's going to be we have a very robust day, and then we have a lot of food. I think food is important. So. And then we have a lot of meet people, engage, connect, try to just, it's a beautiful thing we are doing, and it's a beautiful thing that you're part of it today. So thank you for coming, and again, apologies for starting late, and then And just to let you know, we actually have about 9, 10 different cities. At some point, we will show them here. Different cities across the country where people are gathered like this to watch this event virtually in a watch party. Apart from people that are watching at home on their own, or we are live on YouTube. We are also live on Zoom. So the whole idea is that we had gone to see them to ask them questions, and now that we are launching the outcome of their findings, we just wanted them to also be part of that opportunity, even though they might not be in Abuja. So we are virtually streaming live on YouTube. So yes, thank you again for being here, and then I enjoyed the rest of all the packages that we have for you, and then make new friends as well. And then thank you for coming. Thank you.
So thank you, Ola. I'd like to invite Zachariah from SPF for his presentation. So you have the floor.
Advocacy. All protocols duly observed and courtesy extended. My name is Zachary Emmanuel Mekalma, and I am a spoken word artist, a poet and a writer, advocate for the girl child, brand influencer, aside other things I do on the flip side. I have a simple question. When you sit down to think, what do you think of? How distinctive and how profound could you be from the regular? See, you want to write history, but yet you can't afford a pen. Fearless like a lion, but yet you said you scared of a den. So whenever I sit down to think, I think of my thoughts on how hospitable I could be when I invite her for a dinner for food for thought. But what were you thinking? When you were carried away in a ship like Titanic that was sinking, tell me to your puzzle was missing. Napoleon Hill said, we have the ability to control our mind, so I bring out a canvas, paint me a mental imagery, converting my kinetic energy into potentials. This is me standing in front of you. But my mind's eye sees me in Cairo, Trinidad, Tobago, Chicago, a place where no one from my hometown has ever gone. You could tell by my sense of empathy. My words needed not to be said in verbatim. It could be heard through telepathy. Sometimes in my reflection, I say, dear Lord, why have you given Nigeria crude oil? For this crude oil has become a blessing and a curse. Now the curse overthrown the blessing, and the blessing is appeasant to the curse. Now, critically, the critics criticize the critics, and the critics falls on the critics. But what do you think of? Is he love, fortune, makeup, honey, life, crew, nasty, corny, or high-rise inflation, the masses, starvation, livelihood, degradation, our leaders, corruption. Our brain are made up of 12 billion nerve cells arranged in an echelon, but what do you do with them? For your actions, your words, you can't even account for them. See, right from time, Thomas Hobbes say, man is brutal, harsh, nasty, but J.J. Rousseau say, no. Society made me who I am. But as my loyal friends will say, you are who you are. For no man would have thought is a myth. Yes, no man would have thought is a myth. So pardon my manners if I wasn't listening when you're trying to get my attention. I was just critically thinking. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, before I step down the stage, I just want to let you guys know that there's a movement called the Advocacy Movement, spelled as ART. VOCACY, and we are the members of Street Project. Street!
I wish I had that energy to shout street. If I do, I will look like someone I will sound possibly like someone that has not had anything to eat. So street. Thank you so much. So I'd like to bring up stage Ramen for his presentation. Let's give it up to him.
When I say street, you say project. Street. Street. When I say street, you say project. Street. Oh shit. I go by the name Remy Bars. I'm a rapper. And I did this song in October in memory.
Bars on it. So it hits me hard.
21 gun salute to all the soldiers we lost, to the youths who got shot. Oh man, we can't forget. We counting 2 years plus. You can't subtract it from the future years to come. Oh yeah, it's history now. It's talking now with thoughts. What we gonna
Bars on it. So it hits me hard.
21 gun salute to all the soldiers we lost, to the youths who got shot. Oh man, we can't forget. We counting 2 years plus. You can't subtract it from the future years to come. Oh yeah, it's history now. It's talking now with thoughts. What we gonna do? What we gonna do? We speak up. What we gonna do? What we gonna do? We fight back. It's about time where we get to fight back. Take the bull by the horn. Our mighty don't strong. So we rise as a motivation, a change for the nation. The blood of the fallen ones, that's the revolution. For the guy named John, the girl who got shot, Eleki Toget spot. To all of those we lost, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? Speak up. What we gonna do? What we gonna do? Fight back. It's about time where we get to fight back. Our eye don't red, too much blood has been shed. What? I feel the pain in my heart. I swear it hits me hard. So many dreams gone bad, so many others bowed. I bring the vibe, I bring the hope again to the people. Make me rise, make me fight. Let's affect the ripple. What we gonna do? What we gonna do? We speak up. What we gonna do? What we gonna do? We fight back. It's about time where we get to fight back. Take the bull by the horn. Our mighty don't strong. What we gonna do? What we gonna do? Speak up. What we gonna do? What we gonna do? We fight back. It's about time where we get to fight back. Our eye don't red. Too much blood has been shed. What?
I swear it hits me hard. From my bars on it. Rise for the revolution.
Thank you so much, Ramen. That was amazing. Who is ready to speak up? Are we ready to speak up? Thank you so much. So we have Melody. You're coming up. You're not ready. Okay, sorry for that. We're having Blessing and then Melody, get ready. So we have Blessing now.
Street. Street. This room is too cold and we are youth. Street. Street. When I say street, you say project. Street. 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 It's December and it's a month of gratitude. Yeah. We are all happy to be alive at this time of the year. I'm doing a piece I call Freedom. Yeah, this piece is flowing straight from my belly. So I hope that you listen with your minds and not just with your ears. We are free. We are free. We are free, we said. Or is that what they said to us? You are no longer slaves. Be of good cheer. You are independent. Did I hear you correctly? Did you say independent or independence? Constantly independence on a security system that has failed us. Constantly independence on foreign loans to run local affairs. Kidnappings, strike, poor healthcare systems, bad roads, unpaid salaries are all slavery, rebranded and packaged. You're welcome. I hear people murmuring daily, asking questions, why are we here? Listen, we are still in chains because we have refused to change. We are here today because of the choices we have or have not made. And now, we have another chance, and they say to us, no, don't look to the east. Need we remind them that the 3 wise men came from the east? Look, if we must serve our fatherland, then we must do so with love and strength and faith. Our love for one another has been weakened by religious intolerance. We tried to use our strength, but we were killed at the toll gate. All hope is not lost. We still have one thing left, and that is faith. The Holy Book says that with faith, we can move mountains. So with your faith and my faith, we will break loose from this rebranded slavery and take our place. Because the labor of our heroes past shall not be in vain. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Blessing. Spoken words actually lays the foundation for this next session. I'd like to take volunteers, 6 people who can actually share their thoughts about Nigeria. So if you want to take the stage, 6 persons, can you show 6? Yes, or do I need to pick randomly? Volunteers, yes, we're taking volunteers. Volunteers, let's share our thoughts. We're gradually getting into the moments for the day. So we need 6 persons. We're all youths here, and I'm sure every one of us has something to say about Nigeria. So let's share our thoughts. 6 persons, volunteers. Yes, we have one. Please come up stage. We have one. Yes, please come up stage. We're going to have gender balance. Yes, please. Please. We're standing. Because we are youths and we have strength. So we're standing. We're standing to share our thoughts about Nigeria. Please come up stage. I need one more woman to come up stage. Let's give them a hand as they come. So we have our 6. Our assignment is pretty simple. Unfiltered, what are your thoughts about Nigeria? Where we are? Where you hope to see Nigeria? What do you think can guide us to that true reality that you want for Nigeria? So we have, I think, 2 minutes each or less than to make a point. So let's listen to them.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Sorry to interrupt. Why do we have all the softwares on one side and hardwares on? Yes, let's balance the equation. Yes, thank you.
Should I still go first? Please go ahead. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm standing before you is Bilkisu Aliukana from Yali Network Abuja. So, yes, Nigeria. Nigeria won't remain this way. If really we stop grumbling, stop pointing fingers on people, if we all stand up and act rather than making noise, shouting, blaming, playing games on people, we need to come together. All the questions we are asking, come together, just the way we came together now. Just the way we came together now. Bring all the questions together, act on it, and stop asking questions. Stop grumbling, stop playing games. Come together, join our hands together, and harmonize on what you are asking for. Stop blaming the leaders. Yes, we are youth. Yes, we are the leaders of tomorrow. So we shouldn't just be pointing fingers on the leaders upstairs. We should come together, harmonize ourselves, push up somebody who will represent us in the coming election. Yeah, election is around the corner. If really we come together and pick one person to stand for the youth, we will stop grumbling. The person will go there and act in favor of the youth. But when all of us will just sit down in the comfort of our zones, ranting on social media, we turn to social media journalists, making noise, ranting, and all those things we are ranting. As in, the people, the leaders up there, they won't even get it. They won't even get the message we are passing. Rather, we'll just be creating hatred among ourselves, the youth. But once we come together under one umbrella and act upon what we are saying, I guess it will lead Nigeria to a greater place than where we are today.
Do we agree with her? We will have time to, reflect on all the points that these 6 speakers will be, talking about. But do we agree with her that rather than ranting on social media, we should take definitive steps to getting what we want? Okay, thank you. The next person. No, so we're giving it to a man. Yes.
Good afternoon, Nigerians. Good afternoon, vibrant Nigerians. I'm actually happy to be here, and you can imagine I'm coming all the way from Bogolada. I'm a lecturer with FCT College of Nursing Sciences, Bogolada here, and I've been into youth program. I'm a youth activist as well, even right from my school days. But why I actually wanted to attend today's program, because election is around the corner, so I actually want to know what is our collective opinions as regards to the incoming elections, unlike on social media, what we are reading. So my advice for fellow youth Nigerians like me.
Sorry to interrupt you. What are your thoughts about Nigeria?
Oh, Nigeria, quite all right. Of course, I'm a psychologist, clinical psychologist. I think my opinion about Nigeria today is that we are yet to be where we're supposed to be. And I think for us to get there, we need what I call behavioral change. It's not about leaders. If our leaders are not getting it wrong, then there should be action from the youth that will actually prompt or force the leaders to do what is right. So I think what we need is behavioral change, taking action, and not just talking. And we could achieve that through peaceful protests, that is not being kind of opinionated based on religion or targeted based on religion or ethnicity. So we should all collectively have a change of mind, behavioral-wise, and I'm sure we'll have a change in Nigeria for a better one.
Thank you so much. Do we agree with him? No, right? Okay, we'll have time to talk about it. But now, for the rest of the speakers, I want you to have at the back of your mind that so let me ask the general public, when you say when you have something divided into percentage and one person has 60, the other has 40. So for example, you have a piece of property and you have 60% and then the other person has 40%. Who has that thing technically? 60%, right? So if you look at our population, the statistics says that we're about 60% of the population of Nigeria. So who actually owns Nigeria? The what? Okay, so let's have you.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ngwe Precious Ijoma. My thought about Nigeria is this. Nigeria is not the space that we, Nigeria, you are Nigeria, you are Nigeria, you are Nigeria. So I think like this revolution we are all talking about, the spoken word artist, everybody revolution, are you a good Nigerian? I think this charity begins at home thing. Now I'm bringing it to us personally. In your little space, in your offices, at home, in the little organization you are part of, how do you behave there as in Nigeria? We can't keep blaming our president for everything that is wrong in the country. He cannot be there and be in your houses and be in your offices and be in your little spaces that you have. We have to start acting right individually first. We are Nigerians. You as a person, wherever you are, if you go to a country, if you are in let's say US, everyone there, you represent Nigeria there. So in your respective spaces, in that little place you are in charge of, how do you act as in Nigeria? Or is everything Buhari, everything is Buhari? Like this has been the my thought about this whole Nigerian thing. Yes, I know our leaders are not living up to it. But then again, we as the youth, as persons, are we good people? Are you a good Nigerian in that little space you are? So I'm saying that the revolution we need starts within us, personally, in our families, in our offices, in your organization, whatever you stand to represent. That's where I think the revolution should start from. And enough of the blames. Yes, I know they have a lot of work to do. And then again, elections are coming up, yes. And
30 more seconds.
Sorry. And yes, I know we have a favorite candidate. And please, he's not a messiah. We don't expect him to come and then everything just flips and Nigeria turns to in London or whatever. But we have to do the job. We have to do the work personally in your little spaces. Be a good Nigeria, and Nigeria will be a good place. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Do we agree with that? Do we agree with how we have different opinions? You do. Okay, the next person.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ambassador Aken Akinlaya. My thought about Nigeria. As of now, Nigeria is a failed state. And to correct that, we are youth. They say we are youth. We are the leaders of tomorrow. No, we are not the leaders of tomorrow. We can't see tomorrow. Yes? We are the leaders what? Today, not tomorrow. Couple of times, arguments, interactions, conversations comes up, and I think I've talked in various, being a panelist, and caught so many programs and all of that. But Nigeria as a whole, being a good citizen, having your voter's card, having your national ID card, having your birth certificates, having your state of origin, all these are documents that you have to be proud of Nigeria. Anywhere I go to, I'm a proud Nigerian. But Nigeria as it is now is a failed state under this government. We have been recycling old people, correct. 1976, Buhari. 1983, Buhari. Now, Buhari. For what? It is time for us. We say NSAS, correct, it's good. Nigeria, if you talk about Nigeria, you have IBP. You have IBP. If you have talk about Nigeria on a daily basis, you have IBP. Sometimes I cry for this country, but every day I pray for this country. Every day, 5 a.m., I pray. I poured my spirit out to pray for this country. For the right leaders. Then who are the right leaders? Without youth having PVCs, go and collect your PVCs, already out already. It's stuck in INEC offices, anywhere in the country. But the system is already corrupted. For them to give you your PVCs, you have to go through another rigorous process and all of that. Even NIMC, NIMC is having issues. No network. So many frustrations of Nigerians. Am I saying the truth? Every one of you have experienced NIMC. I even volunteer for them. But server down here and there. We are talking about government. We are talking about the country. The country is fine. It's beautiful. Have a large vast of resources. But it pains me the more that you can't enjoy it as a citizen. Look at money stock in Benue, in police barrack. Look at the truck shown live, two trucks loaded with money. Wickedness. But Nigeria, if we gather ourselves as youth and say enough is enough, this is the right time, I believe you and I can change the narrative, can take up the matter of this leadership from them. And I know Nigeria is birthed with the new ideas, look at the people displaying talent here. I love you people. And I love the leadership of I Lead Africa. My ED Liadi is already there. He's seated right there. So, people, these are leaders that we can look up to. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Do we agree with him? Do we agree with him? It seems only 10% of the room agrees with him. Do we agree with him? No. Okay, we'll have time to delve into some of these issues. You have the floor.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Al-Qasim Muhammad. I'm the team leader for Nigerian Emerging Leaders Forum. I'm glad to be here. Going back to what my colleague said on this floor, I think there are a few things I can pick out of this. We are talking about Nigeria. First of all, I think what should come to our mind, Nigerian doesn't belong to anyone. Nigerian belongs to you, belongs to me, belongs to them, and belongs to everybody. So it's not just for individual or any tribe or any religion or any non-pagan or whatever you believe in. So when they say something belongs to all of us, it's our responsibility to go and take what belongs to us. You cannot sit back and be yearning, be talking about what belongs to you was not given to you. You take advantage of your population. We as a youth, we have to take advantage of our population. Population means a lot. If we are not important, this politician will not be running after us. Did you hear that they said the population of old people in this country is so number? No. But they always say the population of youth in this country is 63%, is 60 this, 60 this. So why are we sitting behind and be talking about the failure, this, that? I remember someone once asked us, in your community, most times we stay in our little community and then we study pole science. But the dropout that you think he's a dropout will go and join one of the party, and then he will decide for your policy and he will decide for your life. So while you are sleeping at home as a degree holder, you didn't join politics to go and show them what you study in school. The guy that is a dropout or a tout has joined politics and he is your counselor, he's your chairman, and he will determine even your future. Not even your future, even if you have a son, he will determine what kind of building they will build in your community. So if he likes, he will go and get the guy that is doing this local cement, and they will build a local school for you. At the end, maybe the roof will fall down and then they will kill our children. So sometimes it's all about ourselves. We need to have high level of national consciousness. This country doesn't belong to anyone. It's a project. It's like a vehicle. Someone will tell you that this vehicle belongs to all of us, but everybody will just come and use it, and then nobody repair it, nobody put fuel, nobody check if the tires are good, if the engines are good. Everybody keep riding it. One day, the car will collapse or the car will eventually die. So Nigeria is like a project. Most times I do challenge our leaders that when you are elected or when you are given a position, most people will just take the position as their personal project. If you take your office as your personal project, you will never do well because you are not thinking of what to leave as a legacy for incoming youth to see as something that you have done so that they can build on it. So I believe if we come together, we think outside the box, and then we believe Nigeria doesn't belong to anyone. This country belongs to all of us. We have to fight for our rights. We have to stop blaming anyone. These guys know how to manipulate. We know how to manipulate. We are Google generation. We have so many ways to handle this. we have a lot of advantage to take. These guys, most of them doesn't even have an email. I have confronted minister. I asked him for his email. He told me, ask my son, he will give you my email. So imagine this kind of person that doesn't even have his email, can even not even remember his password. You can stay in your house to mobilize 100,000 people. So why are we waiting? What are we waiting? We should stop complaining. There is no time to complain. They will be looking at us. It's not all about money. We know that they have money. Yes, it's not all about money. Sometimes money is just an instrument to use to get to where you are. But it's not what will give you a solution. Most times the developed country, they always look for the ideas. Ideas first, then you form a team, then you identify your strengths, you do your SWOT analysis, you take it from there, and then you use it, and then you get the required result. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much, everyone. Okay. Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Bright Young. I'd like to pick some words from what some of my friends here
2
said.
minutes is 2 minutes, right?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Let me celebrate Zachary. I can see you somewhere around there. Celebrate your brother. I also want us to celebrate Mr. Shokoya for what he's doing. Can we just clap to that? Nigeria as a project, we want to see Nigeria as a project. Where do we see Nigeria from now? Nigeria, let's look at the next 50 years. I know we're in a season of election where everybody really wants to see what a party can bring, but can I assure us, in my own humble opinion, Nigeria cannot really have or maximize much in 4 years or 8 years of a particular party system. What I feel Nigeria needs is a proper structuring that can span for years. In other words, if the elder statesmen with youth inclusive, people who have Nigeria at heart, come together and say, in the next 50 years, what do we want to see in this country? Oh, we want to see this number of road networks. We want to see this number of industries. We want to have this and this and this. And we project it for 50 years. And then we say, any party that is coming to power must have to align with this direction. I believe that anybody that is coming, you're not going to be concerned about if you're voting a particular party or not. You're just voting someone who believes can give us this, can work with the blueprint in this case and give us what we're looking for. So what parties are going to be doing, they're going to bring their best candidates, all right, to the fore, and then we're going to work all together and say, this is the country we want to see. So I and your children can be sure that in the next 50 years or in the next 20 years, this is where this Nigeria is going to be. But if we continue to say, I am for this party or I'm for this party, and when a particular party comes around, you know what they do? They decide and say, no, we're not going to do what these guys have done and left over because we have our own project. It's taking us backwards. But we have a system that says, oh, Nigeria from here to here, from here to here. So any government that comes in, we can hold them responsible to carry on the 50-year-old project or 50-year-old vision of a country. I believe this is what we hope for in Nigeria.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Please, let's give a round of applause to all the people that have spoken here. Yes. So this is one thing that this is just a short exercise, and it brought to bear, some of the things that they have mentioned and some of the things that we see that has brought us to this stage. So I came up here and I said, I need 6 volunteers. But these are just the 6 that volunteered to come out. And this is the same thing that happens to us. We go on Twitter, we go on Facebook, we have a lot to say on Twitter, on Facebook, and all of these things. But when it comes to actionizing everything that we have to say, nobody comes up to do anything. So how are we going to take back what belongs to us? Or how are we going to have a say in the governance of this nation when we are presented with opportunities to contribute, but nobody shows up? So this is just a short exercise to, tell us how some of our actions or inactions as, brought us this far. And I want to encourage every one of us that in addition to making all the noise on social media, we should also step out there to take action. So let's give it up to them once again. These are the 6 that has come to represent the youth. So thank you so much. You can, go back to your seats. Thank you so much. Melody, can we have you? We're going to be taking a short break with Melody. So please, you have the stage. Let's give it up to him until he gets to the stage.
When I say street, you say project. Street. Street. When I say project, you say street. Project. Project. All right. The job of the artist is to mirror the society. So this is my attempt to mirror the Nigerian society. I do not know if it takes an axe to make a split second. But I do know that in one split second, a Nigerian is both the greatest of all time and the scapegoat. Both proud and ashamed of where he or she is coming from. Because in the gallery of everything, we are always one step ahead. A people of motion, but 2 steps backwards, because we are led by men driven by their bellies. So it's anywhere belly face, no plans to keep us in the right direction. But you vote in deadbeat makeup artists for leaders. They've been rubbing gunpowder on our faces and expecting death to ask us out. Because we've been pressing phones and pressing for answers, and they do not like the press. So arise, O compatriots. Them they carry us go where we don't know. We've been driven north and left barefooted by men promising to walk a mile in our shoes. And it's how the economy sags on our loose middle belt as things go down south that screams the regional bias. Of course, we know federal character. So it's control tribe on the keyboard meetings, then enter to feature journalism. And over here, we are not allowed to call a spade until it is used to dig our graves. But how do you flesh in the ghost stories when there are too many ghost workers and no job for the graduates? Isn't this how rivers die of thirst? How dreams are de-radicalized? How gods are dehumanized? The beautiful ones are not yet born, so they borrow from Tom, Dick, and Harry to make sure that, like us, the next generation suffer ugly. They've been rolling the wheels of motion for the weaponization of hunger. We've been stretched to breaking points like it's yoga. They've been throwing stones at our mirrored minds so we don't reflect. But what is the cost of $1 when the way our lives are devalued over here is directly proportional to how the naira is dwarfing in the family tree of currencies? Honestly, how did we even arrive here with Oliver Twisted leaders more agitated at the sound of a fact than at the sound of a nation breaking? See, lately I've been thinking of the stars, of Toby Amusan, of how a Nigerian could be the wet dream of the athletics, but the place Nigeria is like a nightmare to dreamers. You see, this story no clear. Looks like we've been trying to scribble tragic comedy at the same time with both hands. And even Einstein may not survive the brainstorm of how we survive here. How we walk this tightrope color system in the balancing act of life and death. Because our tribesmen call the shots, but for how long would we keep on with these extreme sports? How can a nation bleed and they tell us that red is the new color of sweat? We are burying more dreams and people here where there was a country with an intent to hand over a graveyard to the next generation in the name of a country. See, I speak for the uprooted, those dying to live, the victims of a system that has left hope in tatters. We are drowning here. We are drowning here. We are drowning here in the murky waters of an existential crisis where kidnapping has become a golden fish, and those who leave the nation capsized cannot be fished out. We are dying here. We are dying here. But these cross-carpeters and bloody Samaritans cannot kill our vibes and still leave us at a loss for words. So you see, you do not need to believe in heaven to know that we're already going through hell. Thank you.
Melody, Are you angry? Are we angry? Please, let's not be angry. Melody seems, I could feel the passion in his spoken words. Thank you so much, Melody, for that. I said before that we'll be delving into some of these issues, and it's about time that we start doing that. So I'm going to bring up stage Oge Walters Ekwubiri to moderate the panel session that we're going to be having now. So Oge, please, you have the floor. Please come up stage. Let's give her a round of applause as she comes up stage.
I please have people who have energy in the room. For the last time, I know we're not happy about Nigeria, but can we by faith? Can we by faith get gingered? Okay? For those that are watching us from every part of Nigeria, ladies and gentlemen, streets! Streets! And long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Let's give ourselves a round of applause, please. So good afternoon again, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. For those who do not know, my name is Ogenna Walter Ekwubiri, and I am proudly Nigerian. I thought you'd clap for me for that. And today, I would be moderating a panelist discussion that would be geared towards activating our voice for a better Nigeria. All protocols duly observed. Most importantly, I would like to thank each and every one of you for taking out time off your busy schedule to be here today. You know why? Because we all desire a better Nigeria. A Nigeria that works for me, for you, our parents, and our children unborn. The theme for this year's International Youth Day was intergenerational solidarity. And it breaks my heart a lot of times when I'm in a youth gathering, and sometimes we downplay processes and the active roles that the older and even younger people play. Because guess what? You might be 18, 19, 20, 25, 30, 35 today, but in the next couple of years, we all are going to be old. And so if we want a Nigeria that would work for us in our old age, we need to act now. Ladies and gentlemen, join me as I make welcome some special people. Please, can I have the microphone? Who would be joining me on the panel discussion today? In no particular order, ladies and gentlemen, remember to maintain the energy so that I don't go home, right? I'll be calling the very first person who would be gracing our beautiful yellow stools. Let's give it up for the author of Policy Analyst and the host, Talk Health Niger. Let's give it up for Dr. Laz Eze. Can we clap for him, please? Keep clapping until he makes his way on stage. Sir, you have your own microphone. Yeah. Check that out. Please clap for him. It's not... the president of the Mandela Washington Fellowship Alumni Association of Nigeria, in the person of Olorunfunmi Adebajo. Please give her a round of applause. Keep clapping till she makes her way on stage, please. You're welcome. Joining her, we have the founder of the Youth Evolve. Okay, I like that energy. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Ruhama Ifere. Can we please keep clapping for her, please? Welcome. Thank you. You're welcome.
Welcome.
Hello. Okay, I need to get this working. It is? Okay, well, again, you're welcome. And then thank you for gracing our presence with your beauty and your intellect. So we'll be going straight to the discussion for today. And don't fidget, don't fret. It's a youth show, and so we want everything to be acide hot. As we know, we are in an electioneering period, and so the pressure is getting worse. And just because we want to make this pressure worse, we need to have issue-based discussions on how to not just punch up, press our phones, and be skeletal non-entities, but to actually be involved in the process. Now, it is one thing to be involved in the process, but it is more important to ensure that you galvanize other people. Because it is one thing for you to believe in Nigeria, but does your neighbor believe in Nigeria? Does your sister believe in Nigeria? Does our mama and Ipa in our various villages, do they believe in Nigeria? And so, I'll be speaking with the beautiful Dark Ebony to my right. Ma'am, kindly introduce yourself, and in your view, how can we realistically activate our voices as young people for a better Nigeria that works for many and not for a few?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Olorunfunmi Adebajo. You can just call me Fumi. Olorunfunmi is long. And she just asked me how we can activate our voices as the leaders of today and tomorrow. I'd like to share a very short story with you guys. In the 2019 elections, or was it the one before that? Some people in my community in Lagos, I'm born, bred, and buttered in Lagos. And, you know, my family has lived for so long in that particular location that you can now say that if you mention my surname, they'll take you to the house from the bus stop. So some people came to meet me like, Olorunfunmi, you are young, you have energy. All these people in this political party, we don't even have a secretary that is as learned as you. Come, start from being our secretary, and then you can go up. I said, me. Roll with you. No, it's not possible. As at that time, I had a non-profit organization. I used to move youth around, help children get into secondary school. I'm passionate about poverty, eradicating poverty, and I just thought, oh, that's my space. That's not your space. And someone was contesting for an election, and he called a meeting. The people in the community called him. So what do you have for us? And they were asking him questions. And the guy had the nerve to tell them that only, I'm trying to say it in English, but you know English doesn't actually adequately capture our languages. The guy says, only someone whose father has a house in this place can talk to me like this. It was an insult on everybody that sat there. And when I heard, my father has a house in that place, I am qualified to speak with this person. I had all it takes to engage this person. I felt sad that I had missed an opportunity. So I would say that the best way to activate our voices is to get involved. It sounds dirty at the beginning. You are going to meetings, you are rolling with people that you think are not in your class. Let me tell you something. Those people that are not in your class will now become the people that will get to lead you. Because that man's wife went to the market and showed them shaggy with her words. So imagine that I had taken up the opportunity. At that time, I might not have been able to face him because of his age and his caliber and reputation. But I would have risen through the ranks to some place, and today I will be able to have a better voice in code. So the best way for me is to go beyond the hashtags. Let's move beyond being keyboard warriors and let's make sure that we participate in politics. Thank you.
Fantastic. Please, can we give her a round of applause, guys? And I sincerely hope we have our papers and pen and we are jotting things down. And at the end of this panel, you may also be interested to know that you are allowed to ask us questions. And so if you do have any questions, all you need to do is write them down on a piece of paper and hand them over to any of the beautiful ushers beside you. Now, she said, get involved. Get actively involved. Allow yourself to be a beginner just so you can ride through the ropes and climb the ladder, because you might be led by someone who isn't worth leading you. Moving now to Dr. Eze, sir. In your view, in your words, unfiltered, because it's a youth-centric environment, how can we realistically accelerate, activate, and amplify our voices as young people in creating a Nigeria that works for not a few, but for all of us? Thank you.
Right, thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here. I'll just take it from where Fumi stopped. I'm a public health physician and I love talking health. On this space, we are talking governance because you can't really develop without appropriate leadership. And every country of the world where many of our young people want to jump to, it took leadership, good governance, sacrifices by everybody to take it to where it is, to make it attractive. And the same thing can happen here, where there will be reverse japa, you know. First of all, from our compatriots who are outside, they will be the first to come back when things begin to work better than it is working. And also other nationals will also start hustling for a visa to come here. I like talking to the youth. I'm no longer a youth because when you cross 35, you are no longer a youth, so I'm above 35.
Sorry, but that's by the United Nations standards. In Nigeria, you're a youth up until maybe 55 sometime. Yes, realistically.
Well, you know, talking policy, you know, you say I'm a policy analyst. So Nigerian Youth Policy 2018 actually defined the youth. You know, youth is age definition. It's not by a 60-year-old person saying, I'm youth at heart. It's not by such declarations. So it's by what the policy says. The UN defines that 15 to 24, right? Nigerian Youth Policy 2018, it was last revised in 2018, says 15 to 29, actually. Okay. The African Charter says 18 to 35. So I only made it to say, okay, 35 because Nigeria is also a signatory to African Charter. But if you go strictly by Nigerian policy definition, anyone that is 30 and above is no longer a youth. So, but coming back to the conversation, why this is important is the present and the future of our country lies with the youth. Because 2 out of every 3 Nigerians is below the age of 35. So we indicate that for us to move forward or for us to remain where we are or for us to move backwards has a lot to do with what the young people do or what they fail to do. And I must commend Nigerian youth. Why I say so is a lot of times we tend to be too hard on ourselves. We tend to blame ourselves for certain things that we are also victims. I'm beginning to use we now, you know. Anyway, so, but there have been a lot of progress in terms of participation in the past few years. Of course, we are very much aware about NSARS, but before NSARS, there was Not Too Young to Run movement, which I'm part of the strategy team leaders of the movement. Young people made it happen. And for those who say youth are leaders of tomorrow, I like the fact that it was corrected by some of those on stage that last spoke. You are leaders of today because at 25 you can be a member of the House of Representatives. They're not too young to run amendments. Our condition made that happen. And Nigerian youth led the movement that forced that amendment. So at 25, you can run and become a member of the State House of Assembly or House of Rep. So that makes you leader of today. So it's children that are leaders of tomorrow. That's what they sing in primary school. You know, we are leaders of tomorrow. The youth can be singing that. You know, so when we now begin to see ourselves as part of today's leadership, we'll begin to take more responsibility and not be, oh, I'm 30, I'm young, I'm youth, and all of that. You know, so getting more involved, like Fumi said, is taking up those positions that we consider small, but every position of leadership counts. And when we talk about leadership, it's not only about those we vote for, it's about that space you find yourself. Whether it's within your community, whether it's within whichever religious group you practice, you have youth groups there, or anywhere you find yourself, whether it's within the university, NYSC, or just among your peers. So the kind of leadership you expect is what we should give. I was National Vice Chairman of Alliance for New Nigeria, Southeast. We were part of those that registered the party because we were kind of frustrated, a number of us. That was the party that fielded Fela Durotoye in the last election. Okay. But it got registered in 2020, interestingly, you know, because we didn't win any election. You get rigged out and they still kick you out for not, for not being able to win any position. So a number of us were like, we're tired of the status quo. Okay, let's get a vehicle. Since you, by Nigerian constitution, you cannot get as much involved without a political party. I've tried to be in a party before. What I saw got me disinterested. You know, I was in the university early years at Ibadan, University of Ibadan. That's where I studied. My other brother ran for House of Assembly. They were in AMPP. AMPP was an opposition party then, complaining against the PDP. And ASU was on strike for like 6 months. The strike started after my first year, we just concluded the holiday that was for 3 months. So school was to resume, and a week the resumption ASU was on strike. So for 9 good months, I was involved in politics. And I should be around 19 years that period. And everything I didn't like in PDP, I saw that happening in AMPP, and I was very much discouraged. I was like, so even the opposition that is complaining, they were doing the same thing, you know. So I got disinterested, but when I went back to school, I said, okay, as a student, at least this is not the political party stuff. I could lead. I got very actively involved. I did everything, everywhere, held leadership positions. At some point, I was the head of medical students in Africa. And it was a learning opportunity for me. I got in contact with older people, you know, being mentored by them, even till date. You know, a number of them are still my mentors. And I got a lot of insights because being a student leader, we had opportunity to sit with the pro-chancellor then, Gamaliel Onosode, who was our pro-chancellor, may God bless his soul. You know, so when you sit with these people, there are things that you learn. They tell you their stories, you know, give you a number of insights, but without being active, I wouldn't get those opportunities. I'm telling these stories so that we see that just by being involved at any level, you know, you don't need to be the president or whoever, but just chair committees, be secretaries, be that. There are always things to learn that you can make use of. And for us to make Nigeria to work and have things happen, we just must get involved. I know I've spoken for a long time. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Please, let's give him a round of applause. So what I heard from Dr. Eze is the fact that beyond getting actively involved, you can actually get involved at any level. And it is in being involved that you would be seen. It is in being involved that, who knows, You might be taken in under the tutelage of a mentor who would save you the stress of making mistakes and accelerate your success process. Moving on real quick, Miss Ifere, from your perspective, unfiltered, how can we as young Nigerians accelerate and amplify our voices in creating a Nigeria that works not just for a few, but for every one of us?
Okay, thank you very much. I actually have a lot to say, but then I'll try to make it very concise.
Very important.
I'll begin like this by saying that 2020 actually happened. I mean, we the young people, we came out en masse to speak out and, you know, voice out our complaints against the issues that we had seen were facing us, and we were tired of these issues. 2 years after 2020, the truth is that I, for one, have done some deep reflections, and I can say that, I can safely say that to an extent, young people are still not ready to actually clamor for that change that we desire. What do I mean? So for instance, the 2023 general elections is coming close, and if I ask many people here, probably you have your PVCs, but if we actually conduct a poll or a survey, you find out that many young people are yet to get their PVCs. So you hear different factors like, oh, I work, I've gone there several times, they've not given me my PVC, I don't know if it's available in the local government area where I am, I transferred, I don't know this and I don't know that. And then they don't begin to take that deliberate steps to ask questions that, okay, where is the INEC office in my local government, or where have I been transferred to? How can I get my PVC? Who are those that I'm going to be voting for? We have different parties. What are their manifestos? What are their agendas? When you ask people, you just hear them say, oh, I'm voting for this, I'm voting for that. When you ask them, what plans does this person have? They don't have any idea. They don't know if APC has 5-point agenda, if PDP has 10-point agenda, if Labour Party has a path when it was released and all. And then eventually when we elect the people that we feel that, okay, we've elected or that the masses have spoken out, and then we begin to see some unaccountability in some sense, we then begin to ask the question that how do we come in? But then this is the time for us to come in the sense that by getting your PVC, by being informed, by educating other people in your environs that, look at this person in this particular party has said that he will do this, he will do this. You are involved in this is how we can come in. It's by knowing, by being involved, by sensitizing others, and also importantly by getting your PVCs.
Amazing. Can we please give her a round of applause? I could feel the passion, and would I use the word anger? A little bit of it when she was, expressing herself. And this is because we all know, I don't think it's news to us that Nigerian youth specifically, we have this laid back attitude towards things, towards critical issues. And that is why the older generation believe that we are all words and no action. But thankfully, the EndSARS protest kind of rejigged their mindset into understanding that, look, perhaps these guys are just beginning to take action. And because we are young, we are fit, and we are ready. Now, I'm going to feed off what she said. How many of us here have actually collected our PVCs? Don't lie, heaven is real. Are you sure? If your hands are raised up, please give yourselves a round of applause. For those of us who haven't collected our PVCs, how far? Kilonshele. Because we can speak all of the English, scream all of the streets, use all of the hashtags, network all we want. But if we do not use this, it's not going to work. We are wasting our time. Now, remember I said if you have questions, feel free to write them down and pass them to the ushers. They will bring it to us here. We are rounding up. So, like we know, we are building into an electioneering period. And there was this other panel discussion we were supposed to have, I think before this one, which we ought to have the major youth representatives in the 4 leading parties. But for some reasons, politicians would always be politicians. We are still waiting for them to arrive. I have gone through some, are we together, guys? I have gone through some of the manifestos, I'm not going to mention names, and to my huge disappointment, utmost disappointment, some of them have little or nothing set aside for the young people. Let's not even talk about the women. Let's not even talk about the women. That one is a different topic for another day. Most of them have little or nothing set aside in their manifestos for young people. And Ms. Ifere said something. Sometimes we clamor for a candidate, but beyond the color of the party, the hashtag and the, give me the word, campaign fiesta, what does that person stand for? I am particularly looking out for an individual who has capacity, character, and someone who is committed to delivering Nigeria from not a failed state, because I don't believe Nigeria is a failed state. If Nigeria is a failed state, we wouldn't be seated here. Trust me. And the bomb blast will let you know that it is not a failed state. However, Nigeria is an ailing state. So how do we, moving into electing, because take it or leave it, we have the larger demography, INEC knows it, we all know it, the politicians know it. How do we amplify our voices by using our thumb in voting for whoever is going to be the next president of this country, and what are the key characteristics that you believe in your expertise that we should look out for whoever it is that is going to deliver us and help us in accelerating and actualizing our goals?
I think that the first thing to look out for is what is this person's value? What is this person's purpose? Why is this person running for office? From what we have seen of the political aspirants, of the major political aspirants, we can deduce, we can infer from a lot of things that they have said. You can infer that someone wants to serve, or you can infer that someone thinks it's my right to be there. You can infer different things. I think that purpose is one of the most important things in deciding who your next president should be. The other thing that I would like to say is that, like both of them have said about looking through manifestos, which one of these people have our best interests at heart? From campaign speeches, you can know who has my best interest at heart. And then, having decided based on your values in alignment with their values, you decide who to vote for. I think that we should now start mobilizing ourselves. You don't have to be the biggest person in your community. You can start from your church and decide that, oh, this youth group, you can start from your mosque and decide that, okay, everybody, it doesn't matter whose preference it is that you want to be the president. The first thing is, have you gotten your PVC? How can we make sure that people access information? Like she said, a lot of people don't have access to information. How can we make sure people have access to information? How can we ensure that people have the opportunity themselves to exert their civil rights? So I think that we should look out for their purpose, their values in alignment with youth development, and then we should also start to mobilize ourselves in our grassroots communities.
Fantastic. Can we please give her a round of applause? Purpose, alignment, values,
and mobilization.
Dr. Eze, sir, I'll be posing the same question to you.
Right.
What should we look out for? What characteristics should we look out for? What basis are we choosing our next leaders on?
Thank you very much. You know, what Fumi essentially talked about is character. And we may be hearing a lot about whether it's 3 C's or 4 C's, or as the case may be. And no matter how much we hear about them, it's still very much relevant. So she's talked about one of the C's, which is character. The character has to do with the values, with the purpose, and what the person, the intentions. But you also have to look at capacity. Capacity, can this person do what he or she is claiming that is coming to do? Of course, we have very brilliant persons in Nigeria, so every Tom, Dick, and Harry can come up with a very beautiful manifesto. Just get someone, pay them.
Hire someone.
Yeah, you know, and they will give you a very fine manifesto. But while you study the manifesto, it's very important, we all do. I've been reading manifestos of the various political parties and candidates I'm interested in, because it's good to know what they say they are coming to do. Is with that we hold them accountable if they get to win the election. So, but when you now study the manifesto, you look at, okay, does this person have the capacity to implement this? You said he will be able to do. Of course, nobody knows everything. So it could be a medical doctor like myself. If I'm running for governor, I will have a manifesto that is talking about some technical things in tech, in engineering, and all of that. So how do you assess capacity? Capacity, what have I been able to do in my private life? The works I've done before, what was my impact in places I've worked, in positions I've held, how did I handle them? You know, did I demonstrate capacity to be a good team leader, to select credible persons to work with? You know, because leadership is about team and about the persons you were able to work and the results. You know, so what about competence? So is the person competent enough to also handle that? What about compassion? That's another C. So is the person compassionate? Is he a leader that will look at the mood of the country and intervene in certain situations? Or is he a leader that the country will be burning and the person is traveling out? You know, is he a kind of leader where young people will sit at home, you know, for months without going to school for no fault of theirs, and they'll be taking pictures celebrating their children's graduation in other countries that have more responsible leadership? You know, so these are things that we need to look at to be able to say, okay, this is who is going to have my votes. And it doesn't matter whether the person wins or not. If critical persons could do this analysis, make your choice and vote. No, none of the candidates, like for instance the presidential election, everybody will be bragging, but all of them are scared. None of them can say in confidence, I'm going to win this election. Forget what their supporters are posting on social media. So let nobody make you feel, oh, you are wasting your votes. If you've done your analysis and you feel this is the person in your good conscience that deserves your votes, go ahead and vote for that person. There's a comment you make which I have perhaps a different perception. You say they didn't have like youth agenda in the manifesto. You know, I wouldn't want anyone to be doing tokenism for young people. Okay, we'll do this for youth, we'll do this for youth. If there are jobs, it's youth. You know, because the most energetic people to do the work are young people. So if someone has a manifesto that will make jobs available, then youth will be the highest beneficiary. If they are investing in education, creating enabling environment for schools to operate very well, public and private, and for the rich and the poor to be able to have access to quality education, the biggest beneficiaries are youth. You know, so if our health system is working and the parents, our parents in their old age have a health sector that can provide preventive, curative or palliative medical care, there will be less pressure on the young people, because if you have retirees and they are sick and you are spending most of your money in taking care of them, it's also affecting you. So if the overall their manifesto is good enough to work for us as a country, I believe the biggest beneficiaries are young people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Can we give him a round of applause, please? I'm still waiting for your questions, guys. And Dr. Eze said, you're also looking at character, right? But does this person have the capacity to do all that they have said they would do? Are they team players? Are they compassionate people? Are they people who would leave us in shambles and jet out to be outside, right? Moving on to Ms. Ifere, I'm going to pose the same question to you. In your view, what should we look out for in whoever is going to emerge as the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as young people?
So in my view, what we should look out for is the vision of whosoever it is that you want to align with or you want to vote for. So whatever vision that that person has, whether through their manifestos, their agenda, it has to be very clear and manifestly seen in every sector. So this person is not saying one thing here for the youth and saying another thing for the women and saying another thing for the vulnerables, and all of them is not in sync. So if you ask everybody now in this place, I'm sure many of us are working in different sectors, maybe food sector, agriculture and the rest, and we know how some policies eventually still come down to us even at the grassroots. So you have identified the issues that are in maybe the different sectors that we're involved in, and then you look at these people, what plans have they brought to the fore to be able to help us to solve these issues? If they are not bringing any plans, then this is where our town halls and our dialogues that some parties actually organize come in. You go there and you begin to pose these questions, and then eventually you can even profile these solutions, and then those that are actually open-minded can involve you, can include you maybe eventually when they get elected, or if they are not elected, with the other party that actually becomes elected. So it's very important that as young people, we are active, we are strategic, we are involved, and we are also seen. That's what I'll just say.
Please give her a round of applause. Young people, be active, be strategic, be involved to be seen, heard, and felt. Do we have any questions from the floor? Oh, yes, please. Or would you rather want to ask the question? Okay, but straight to the point, because some of us like drama. So straight to the point and precise. Who is the first person? Hey, a lady, please give her a round of applause. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Give her a round of applause, guys. Energy, please. Kindly introduce yourself, and if your question is posed to any of us directly, mention whom you're directing your question to. But if it is just an open slate, a blank check, feel free. I would address.
All right, thank you. My name is Timlolua Oyeni, and I'm a member representing Oyo State Youth Parliament. There seems to be a battle between politics and leadership. So as young aspiring leaders, how do you, or can you create, can you draw a line between politics and leadership? And, how can you come to a balance? It's an open check question.
Fantastic. Do we have another question? Guys, give her a round of applause. What do we have against clapping for people here? Clap for somebody so that they will clap for you too. Do we have any other person who has a question? Okay, so while we're waiting for someone else to, have ginger to ask us questions. There's someone else there? Yes, please.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Uriel Joseph. Mine is more of like a comment rather than a question. Yes, I feel the youths are ready. You could take a look at EdSARS, the way youths came out. But in them coming out now, the question is this: who are there to protect them? The youths are always there. They are coming out, they want to participate. But at the back, who is there to protect them? If, for instance, now one of us comes out now and say, this is this, and then we are trying to voice out our own opinion on the bad governance, we see that it will even be our own fellow youths that will be criticizing us. And then one of the speakers said something and mentioned something about one of those 6 speakers mentioned something about this government going, and there needs to be a stable policy for each and every one of them to come. Yes, I feel that that's the right thing, but then we should be realistic. This is Nigeria. Most of them they are just there for their own personal gains, what they can gain. When they leave, that's it. Nobody else cares. I feel that we as youths, we have the voice, we have the numbers. We can just decide to stay indoors, writing, hashtag world keyboard warriors and know that all we can decide to come out. But when we decide to come out, who are there to protect us? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do you have any more questions, or should we address this first and then come back to you? We should address this first. Okay, so I didn't quite get your name, sir, but you said it was a comment, but I heard more of a question, which is, who is going to protect us when we come out to exercise our rights, to amplify and accelerate our voices? And so that is question number one. Question number two from the beautiful Ebony parliamentarian. She asked that at what point do we draw the line between politics and leadership? Now, before I go to my amiable panelists, I would love to say to you, my darling, that personally, I believe that for as long as Nigeria remains a democratically governed institution, politics is a must. Because for me, when it comes to democracy, you cannot sideline politics, because it is the vehicle that helps in choosing the leaders. That is my perspective. I stand to be corrected. And so, does anybody want to take on any of the questions, or should I assign them to you?
Okay, I'd like to speak on the first question, and that's the difference between politics and leadership. I remember, where do we draw the line? I remember one of the questions that I was asked, my first master's class in education, admin and planning was, are leaders born or made? And the professor said there's no right answer. If you say a leader is made, he's made. If you say a leader is born, a leader is born. So we need to first consider the population of Nigeria, and we have the highest youth number in the world. Out of youth number, what we are doing here is also to raise leaders. So we have a large pool of leaders eventually, but not all of them can lead in certain positions, and that's where the element of politics comes in, and that's where we have to look out for capacity. So this person can be a good leader in the non-profit space, but can that person be a good leader leading the nation? Do you understand? So at different points, we have to be able to identify capacities, and that brings us to selecting or electing who gets in political roles. I think, I hope I was able to answer your question.
Can we give a round of applause, please? Does anybody else want to take on that particular question? Yes, Doc.
Yes, thank you very much. Politics and leadership or governance. Of course, politics is essentially activities, actions that's towards the process of having access to power, political power. Leadership generally might be related to politics, it may not entirely be related to politics. Of course, in different spaces where we are, we have leaders. But let me take it that you mean for those who did politics and get to positions of power, they are expected to be leaders, they are expected to govern. So where do you draw the line? I think after elections, because right now there is politics, everyone is politicking, saying the truth, telling lies and all sorts, stirring up emotions and all of that just to get access to certain positions, some for altruistic reasons, others for transactional reasons. Whatever it is, they are politicking. But when they get to that position, they are expected to govern. So now what's the difference? There are sometimes people occupy those positions. Say you are a private person, or you are even in the opposition, you lost an election, and they are the ones that became governor, and you want to do something for your community. Say there is a road that is not good on your street. You are expected to take permission from the government to enable you mobilize, organize within the community to fix that road. Sometimes when you write a letter, because they feel, oh, this one is not in our political party, or this person could score some points, they will kill that project. That's playing politics. That's not governance. So when after election, people should get to governance. What should make our society to be better? irrespective of who is coming from, irrespective of who should take the glory. The goal should be, let us make progress. Let us make the place better for ourselves. So individuals, philanthropists, even opposition people should be seen as partners for development. That's what it's supposed to be. Then towards the next election, if they are bragging, okay, we did this with our money, you as the leader will also, yes, you did it because I allowed you to do it. You know, so that should be the mindset. But when we keep playing politics with everything, or because this person, if they do it, they will take the credit, it will make us look bad, less frustrated. That's what happens. Even at the school level, I was class rep in school, and we wanted to fix something within our lecture theater. We agreed as a class, and we wrote a letter to the university that we want to fix, they want to contribute money. You know, we didn't get approval to do it at that level. This is not even about party or no political party. So then I don't know if I could comment on the second question.
Yes, please, in less than 1 minute.
So on the second question, you say, who will protect you if you come out? That's a very good question. Ordinarily, the states should protect everyone. And by states, the primary essence of government is to secure lives and property. If not, everybody will just be doing their thing. But is the state protecting us? Yes, no, not in all cases. But I think that young people can also play certain roles in protecting ourselves, in as much as we keep demanding. The state failed the youth during EdSARS because they tried to use the bad guys to stop it. That didn't work. They now use instruments of state to force the protest.
Which they are still contesting, by the way.
Anyway, yeah, they can deny it, but the reality is the reality. So, but one thing you could do is community organizing. If you believe in a cause and you identify other persons within your space that believe in that, and you begin to organize, there will always be bad guys, but they are not in the majority. So it's when you allow them put fear in you, they will succeed. Just 3 persons will carry some matches, come and brag and all of that, and 20 others will run away. But if you organize and stand your ground, they are not going to stop you. You're not going to get threatened. So let's begin to use those powers. The bad young people who they used to generalize for majority, call everybody a bad name, are in the minority. So when the majority organize and stand, just as you did during EdSARS, they sent some thugs. They were not able to stop it because they round them up, beat them up, and they run away in some cases. So that's what we need. Get like minds, organize, and overcome those ones that could threaten our safety.
Amazing. Can we please give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? And so, Ms. Ifere, do you want to comment or answer any of the questions?
Well, just to add to what he has already stated, because
Yes,
I feel
please.
they've already commented well.
2 minutes.
To the last question on who's going to save us. I think
who's going to protect us? Jesus,
who's going to protect us? It's more like saving, because But I think the way I'll put it is this: freedom is never given; it's actually demanded. And what, like I said, we've been saying from the onset is that we're clamoring for change, we're clamoring for freedom. Yes, are we going to face some setback or some challenges? Yes, but we need to push forward. We need to come up with those strategies, like he has stated, community organizing, where probably a particular set will go and vote, and then they're coming back, and that set is protecting them, checking out if there are going to be touts around and all of that. But we need to keep pushing forward. That should not deter us at all if we really want the change. We read of our heroes past, we read of people that inspire us. They didn't just sit and also imagine who's going to protect them.